Will here, and as always, I'm here with my friend, Captain, and we were just kind of sorting some cards, getting ready for the work week for me starting tonight. So I figured I'd film this and then upload my Collector's Corner on Friday with the new animation as well. But I wanted to kind of introduce the animation. It's a discussion that's come about on my end, just thinking about trading cards and selling cards and what it means to value our cards and how we maybe sometimes end up undervaluing them by just focusing so much on like the dollar amount value. So I created an animation where I kind of just ramble on with my thoughts that I kind of had in my head just as someone who's getting into trading. So if these are similar things that you're feeling or you feel something different, please let me know in the comments or reach out with a like, and we'll give Captain another treat there. So yeah, but before we get started with the animation, I did want to tell a story that surprisingly enough comes from an interaction that I had on eBay, where a buyer purchased a Starmie EX Pokemon card that I purchased the single pack at a gas station right before work, and oh, that's my cat Tori. She is like 20 years old and sometimes she just yells, but she's got dinner and water, so she's okay. I think she just wants to hang out. She's not as into cards as Captain is, so she wants to hang out her way. But yeah, I ended up pulling that card from a perfect order pack from a gas station. Oh, you gonna go hang out with your sister? Yeah, from a pack from a gas station, so I wasn't really expecting anything. Just looking for some cards to rip before work or while at work, maybe before work for sure, and after work. But yeah, so I opened this card and put it up on eBay as an auction. The buyer reached out asking, surprisingly enough, if the mark on the card or on the photograph was on the card or the plastic top loader that was protecting the card, and I told him that I wasn't sure. I would eventually try and get a picture to him when I had access to the card. I forgot. Whoopsies, regardless, it ran out of time. It wasn't a thing, but I failed on my end to secure a picture for the buyer, but I did end up talking with them, because this happened around the same time I was doing all my trading and thinking I needed these graded cards in order to compete with people that were trading. So I was like undervaluing my raw cards, and I was like doing a 2-to-1 or 3-to-1 ratio for like graded cards for raw cards, and then I would go and try and trade these graded cards, and it turned out some people wanted them raw anyways, and they would just crack them out of the case. So you just kind of makes your head spin because you're thinking something's one way, but I think the important thing when you're collecting or doing anything is just to be authentic. So if you're authentically trying to get the highest dollar value, then that's what you're trying to do. If you're authentically just trying to collect a memory because you enjoy a player or a certain like hobby like Magic, then that's okay, I think, too. So I think that's one thing hopefully I mentioned in my rambling with the animation. But yeah, back to the story with this guy, I ended up reaching out and was like, hey, just out of personal curiosity, I kind of like to know the journey of my cards. And I send out a lot of cards to, not a lot, I send out cards to people, and sometimes I get letters from family or where you see them reach out, and it's like a little bit of like what happened with the story. Sometimes it's, hey, I didn't get my card, whoopsies. Um, so, but this one, I wanted to reach out because it was just I was already on a graded versus non-graded track, and so his question, or their question, not sure, but yeah, their question just, it seemed to coincide perfectly with the wavelength I was on. So I reached out and asked, and I was like, hey, what's the I guess the end goal or the value set here with your graded collection, or is this a collection you're trying to resell it? And I was like, feel free to, like, obviously don't answer back as if like everybody's trying to keep their cards, no pun intended, close to their chest. Sometimes I feel like, so it's weird. It's, where's the line of discussion, or like, I don't have to tell you my business with my cards type of thing, but yeah, so the conversation ended up being really friendly, and the collector turns out collects them because they're looking for cards in a pristine condition that they can hopefully get like a black label level grade on, which I don't know what that means, but that doesn't stop them from being passionate about it, and I enjoyed that. So hopefully this card isn't scratched on the card. And then I've got some more Pokemon cards I'm going to go have the shop look at and maybe have some offer. But it was really cool because he shared the story of his favorite collection, and it was that he visited Japan, and all the cities he went to, he collected the promo cards, and the original owner of like an Osaka Pikachu that he had, I guess she got the card at the original debut in 2019 at the convention, so that's really cool. But I guess she called it Osaka Chew, so that was just a fun little. I love languages and words, so it's cool that that works, that combining words like that works in multiple languages and on multiple levels. So that was neat. I'm glad I reached out and didn't automatically assume, because my mind, if I'm honest, went right away to like, oh great, this guy's gonna want to cancel his order or a refund because he's trying to resell this card, and he's gonna think it's all just about money value. So I'm glad when I reached out I hope I didn't have a tone about me. Yeah, it's just, I think it's about being curious when collecting. So yeah, I think stay curious as collectors, which is hard because I think curiosity can lead into being judgmental sometimes, or come across as judgmental, or the feeling of being judgmental can feel like curiosity. So yeah, like I said, I've got a bunch of FIFA stickers I'm going to try and go through. But yeah, please enjoy this animated discussion of valuing versus undervaluing our own cards when it comes to resell or trading. And we will see you for the next mission, or the next Captain's Chase, or who knows, just a short of Captain taking a snooze after ripping some packs. All right. We'll see you on the next one. Like I said, stay curious, collectors, and yeah. Welcome back, collectors. I'm William, and as always, Captain is here keeping an eye on things, at least when he's not thinking about treats. Today's topic is one that sparks debate every time it comes up. I know what I have. Whether collectors are helping devalue their own cards by undercutting each other. Now, Captain tells me this is a controversial topic. Well, he didn't actually tell me, but he did stare at me while I was setting up the camera, so I'm counting that as support.
If you've spent any time in card groups on eBay or at trade nights, you've probably seen it. Someone posts a card, someone asks the price, and then somebody comments, that card isn't worth that, or the last one sold for less. Or my personal favorite, good luck getting that price. So the hobby has become obsessed with the most recent sale. Now, don't get me wrong, market data matters, recent sales matter. But sometimes we've become so focused on the lowest sale that we're helping devalue the very card we're collecting. So, Captain, if you pulled a rare card number to 99, would you immediately list it for the lowest price on the internet? Exactly, neither would I. Here's what gets overlooked. Scarcity matters, demand matters, condition matters, and timing matters. Just because one seller decides to accept a lower offer doesn't automatically mean every copy of that card is now worth less. And I think that's kind of a hard concept to balance while also getting the best deal for that card. So it's really when values fall, right, Captain? We complain when rare cards don't hold their value as they should, but then we encourage each other to undercut faster and faster, whether knowingly or unknowingly, and that's just the way it works because of the human factor. If every seller feels pressure to be the cheapest listing every day, what happens? That's right, the value will trend downward, I'm sure. I don't know. I'm definitely not an expert, not even close. So, how do you negotiate with something like that? Where does the strength in negotiations lie? And are you wanting to negotiate? Is that something that is appealing? In rare cards, they start feeling less rare. So definitely don't ignore what's happening. And definitely negotiating is a huge part of the process. It's the scarcity, I think, in collecting that deserves respect. And not every card needs to be sold immediately. Captain, final thoughts? Captain's official position is that if you love a card, don't let strangers convince you it's worthless. Honestly, that's not terrible advice. Although he also believes tennis balls should be considered currency, so take that for what it's worth. So in closing, at the end of the day, every card has a story. Every collector has a goal. And not every sale defines an entire market. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think collectors are helping devalue their own cards by constantly undercutting each other? And what does the phrase, I know what I have, mean to you? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this discussion, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and give Captain a virtual treat. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.